Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary, where I do the research to try to teach you a little something about what you're drinking. Tonight I'm going to be covering the Auchentoshan 12, and I decided to do this one not only because I got a pretty good deal on the bottle, but also a viewer requested that I cover this one specifically on or around October 21st. And the reason for that is that every year he toasts his daughter's birth with an Auchentoshan, some sort of expression, and he wanted to see my opinion of it. So, Misha, this one's for you, and happy birthday, Anna. When we're talking about Auchentoshan, we're talking about a triple distilled, sherried, Lowland, single malt Scotch whiskey. So we got quite a bit going on there. Let's start at the beginning though and kind of unpack this. So we've got triple distilled. That is a thing that you do not see very often in a Scotch whiskey. That's much more of an Irish whiskey thing. And the reason that you do that is to smooth out the whiskey. I mean, most Irish whiskeys that you're going to try, smooth, other than proper 12, smooth is going to be a thing that you notice. You're not really going to have so much grain. So triple distilling, it makes a difference. And it's interesting that more Scotch whiskies don't do that. But anyway, let's go to Lowland. So Lowland is an area of Scotland that does not have too many distilleries. Only a couple of them even come to mind. You got Ailsa Bay and Annandale and Auchentoshan. So apparently A and Lowland is a big deal. So anyway, we've got sherried, which we all know sherried scotches at this point. It's a big deal right now. And single malt, all made from the same distillery within the same growing season, and Scotch whiskey. So Auchentoshan has, part of the reason I'm bothering to talk about this is Auchentoshan has a really boring history, right? So it changed hands a couple of times, started in 1823, changed hands a few times, ultimately ended up being owned by Beam Suntory, and that's about it. About the only interesting thing I found was that a good portion of their maturing casks were destroyed during World War II in an air raid because it's located in Glasgow. So that's about it. Let's talk about the different expressions that we have, though, however. We start with the Auchentoshan 12. They've also got the 18 and the 21. Those are their age statements. They've also got the triple wood, which a lot of people are a big fan of. So that's maybe something you might want to keep in mind. Then they've got a couple of finishes, which allow me to read these off just because I was not going to remember them. They're travel exclusives. They've got the blood oak, the heartwood, the noble oak, and the springwood. And there's also an American oak finish as well. So the Auchentoshan 12 is chill filtered and it is caramel colored. And you can kind of tell that when you look at the color of this thing. I mean, it's pretty dark, right? And it's only 12 years. Doesn't mean that a Scotch can't be that dark at 12 years, but when you look at every one of these bottles, they're going to look the same. So let's go ahead and go into the nosing and the tasting here. All right. Well, I will say the nose is not bad. The first time I nosed this, or smelled this, for those of you that don't like to be pretentious, I was a little surprised because I wasn't sure what to expect. I was expecting maybe a little bit more heavy on the sherry. However, it's not heavy per se. You're getting some of the smoothness right off the bat, even on the nose, even before you taste it. There's almost no alcohol burn here. There is some citrus, which you're getting from the sherry, and there's also vanilla, mint, but there's an overall quality, and I'm going to pause here. I'm not going to reveal it in the nose. If you happen to be nosing along with me, see if there's a specific thing that you pick out, because I can tell you it appears very dramatically in the taste, so I'll mention it then. So let's go ahead and have a cheers, and once again, happy birthday, Anna. So when we talk about triple distilling, smoothness is key, right? This is smooth. The alcohol and the sherry and the distillate and just everything together, they do meld very, very well together. I will say this is a smooth Scotch. However, when you mix things with sherry, if you have a nice smooth product and you mix it with sherry, it's usually a smooth sherry, right? Something about this gives it that slight little graininess that you tend to get in a whiskey that's not aged quite so long. However, this is 12 years aged. So what's the deal? Well, this goes into ex-bourbon casks. And I'll go more into tasting notes in just a sec. But this goes into ex-bourbon casks. And my feeling is that they are using those bourbon casks over and over and over again. And I have a feeling that they're not very functional at this point. Now, do I have proof? Only in the taste. So feel free to correct me or prove me wrong. But then after the bourbon cask, it goes into Oloroso sherry. So, you're getting the taste there. I have no idea how much those are used. All right. So that one thing that I was telling you that you're going to get quite a bit on the taste is oil. This is a very oily whiskey. And let me take another sip here. So the oiliness comes through in the same way that peat does on a peated scotch. This is what I would call an oily scotch. So other tastes that you're getting are also butterscotch. You're getting some vanilla. You're getting kind of those classic Oloroso sherry notes of a citrus, maybe specifically oranges or more like mandarin orange. So a little bit more, for me anyway, a little bit more tart than it is sweet. But that's about it. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, this is a fairly inexpensive bottle. I got this one for $35, but I think it's usually about $40 in my area, Massachusetts. So let's talk about this overall. Overall, I may have led you wrong as far as my descriptions here, or maybe the impression that I gave you. I do not think that this is a bad whiskey. I don't think that you can get a whole lot of whiskey for $35 when you're talking about scotch. Now, bourbon, that's a whole different thing. But when you're talking about a $35 to $40 scotch, there are choices for sure, but they're going to be hit or miss. This one does taste good. If you don't like oily whiskeys, you will not like this whiskey. However, I think that if you are at a bar, you will have very little trouble finding a dram of this. I think this is a try it before you buy it kind of scenario, but I also don't think that you're going to dislike it. Now, one thing I will put out there just as a stressor, I was talking to some folks in the Discord a couple days ago, actually last night when I was reviewing this, and talking about this and getting their opinions, and most of them they pointed out this quality in Lowland whiskeys that they all seem to have that they didn't like. And to me, I'm thinking that's the oiliness. So try it at a bar. See what you think. It's not going to be very expensive because, like I said, the bottle's only $40. So try it at a bar. See what you think. Let me know what you think. If you love Auchentoshan, any of them, let me know what expressions are better. I've heard good things about the Triple Wood. I've heard decent things about the 18. I have not tried either one. So that does it for this episode of the Whiskey Dictionary. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a great rest of your night. Cheers. I am going to have another sip, though.